Hey, scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, and I'm excited to share with you my most recent album project. I just finished this. The ink is barely dry on my journaling, but I have been motivated to finish it so that I could share it with you because it just makes me happy. This is an album of my daughter's high school graduation Disney trip in 2018. It is right now just in a plain album cover. It's actually like a blue shimmer. Maybe it's called blue mica. I'm probably going to move it to something with a design on the front. I may put it in Sparks of Magic. I may see what else I have in my stash. I'm really liking the decorated album covers, but this was a great album cover just to keep it in while I was working on it. And I don't know, I may leave it in, but because of that, I have not embossed the spine yet, but I do plan to do that at some point once I commit to an album cover. So the title page is an idea from my friend Caroline Dixon. She actually taught this at a virtual crop that we participated in together last month, I guess. Now we're in October. It's featuring Sparks of Magic and the Fairgrounds border punched around a circle. So I do want to let you know that almost all the titles in here are punched or cut with my silhouette, and I use Make the Cut software, which allows me to cut any font that I can find online, anything that's on my computer. And so this font that I chose for this album project is called Uncle Gump, probably from dafont.com, because that's where I get a lot of my fonts from because they're free. And almost every layout uses the same font. And I gotta tell you that since I came up with this idea or plan or whatever decision to just use one font throughout the whole project, it has really made finishing up those album titles a lot faster. So there are a couple places where I had finished a layout, maybe for a virtual crop or a challenge, and I needed to have a title on it to share it. And so it has a different title, but most of them are going to be with this Uncle Gump. So here's our first layout. The paper in this is perfect. This is from the Summertime collection that was released this summer from Creative Memories. And I love the pink flamingos, the pinks and the greens together. Even though it doesn't really match the colors in our photos, I think that it just is a great fun layout, and I'm very happy with how it worked out. I had room to do some journaling. I did do my journaling on little blocks of paper, because it's a busy background. You know, if I tried to write over this, you wouldn't have been able to see it. But it's hard sometimes because the paper's so cute and I don't want to cover it up. And so I do need to remember that the point is the pictures and the stories, and it's okay if you only see a little bit of that pink flamingo paper or a little bit of this green stripe. I love this layout because it fits so many pictures. I think this might have been from a virtual crop. I don't remember, but I love being able to put a lot of pictures on the page and to tell the story. This is of us, you know, our drive down to Florida. We took it in 2 days. We can do it in a day, but if we do that, we get there kind of late at night. So we took it in 2 days so that we could get to the Florida Welcome Center before they close, get our free little cup of orange juice. I don't think they're doing that now because of COVID, but hopefully someday soon that will be back and we can continue with our family tradition of getting a free glass of orange juice or grapefruit juice if you're me. So my sister was living in Orlando, and always as part of our trips to Disney, we tried to squeeze in a visit to see them. It took us longer to get there than we had hoped. So we ended up only having about an hour and a half with them, but it was so fabulous. And if you saw the little 8x8 album I posted a week or so ago, these are the kids that I had made that album for. And so it's just some fun pictures of us at their house and getting to hang out with them. Also, again, with that Summertime paper. And then these are the cardstocks from our Summertime cardstock buffet. So not a lot of journaling, just we love them. We were happy to get to spend some time with them. You know, but a fun part of our Disney trip for sure. So then they went off to gymnastics, and we headed to Boma for dinner. Boma is a restaurant at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. If you have followed my Disney album flip-throughs in the past, you have seen pictures from Boma before. Super excited. I'm going to Disney soon, and I have a reservation for BOMA now that it has reopened after COVID, so I'm very thrilled. This looks to me like a layout that I got from someone else too, a sketch or something like that. Again, with that same summertime paper and those same cardstock buffet colors. And I love the little banners, and I just use them to do my journaling. It's very simple, not a lot of embellishment. You'll notice I don't do a lot of embellishments. I think part of that is because of the way I do my layouts. I like to journal first and then put embellishments on. And by the time I've got the journaling done, I just don't always feel like it needs embellishments. I like just the simplicity, and I like to let the paper do the decorating. So then we went off to Disney Springs. This is a layout. I've actually used this almost exact same layout twice in this album set, and it is using the Botanical Burst. I did not think I was going to love Botanical Burst as much as I have loved Botanical Burst for this album, this Disney album. You're gonna see so much of it. You may get sick of it. I love this striped paper in Botanical Burst. This paper is kind of a frame. So the paper by itself, the frame goes around, and it's great if you do single page layouts, but I almost never do a single page layout. So I came up with this idea of cutting it. I didn't cut it in half. I think I did like a 5 and a 7, and so 5 and a 7. And that way I have kind of the frame that goes around either side, and then the stripes here in the middle to frame my picture. I think it just works really, really well. You know, I like to do kind of a stack of photos toward the middle, and I'm just real pleased with how this turned out and how I was able to use this Botanical Burst single page frame paper and make it work for double page spread. And I know that there's some lights reflecting off my pictures. I'm trying to position it so that you don't get too much glare, but if I turn them off, it's too dark to really see what I'm showing you. So if it's driving you nuts, I apologize. It's driving me nuts too. Okay, so there's this store. It's a little churro place in Walmart. I think it's on Highway 435 there in Orlando. We found it a couple trips ago. My husband loves it. You get this like 20 churros drizzled with chocolate syrup or Nutella for like 10 bucks. And so even though it was late at night, we went to Story Mania and picked up our little bucket of churros to take with us. These kind of look like they're the same picture twice. They are not actually the same picture twice. I didn't really have enough pictures to do a 2-page layout, so just Celeste looks a little different in each of these, and then these are of course this is the selfie that they were taking in these pictures. So this is the Imagine That paper that was our not specific to any brand of theme park a couple of years ago. I do love the bright colors, the blues and the yellows with that, and you can see that my title, there's that same Uncle Gump, but it's bigger because I wanted/needed to fill up a lot of space. All right, day 1, Disney Studios. This is the Emerald Gemstone paper pack. The little rickrack is the picket fence border cartridge. I just did a film strip layout using it the other direction. These are just the points, and I just kind of have the border hidden behind because I just love the little points as a rickrack border, and then I left lots of space for journaling. Okay, first stop, Tower of Terror. This paper I think is Art Nouveau, which actually fits really well with the kind of the decor of the Tower of Terror, and I had a little bit of space for journaling. Here you see that same thing. I do it a lot with the stack of pictures toward the middle, and then everything else kind of radiates out from it. Couple little journaling patches, and you know, just a border strip, and very simple. No embellishments because I don't really know what to put. And like I say, that's not really something I do a lot of, it turns out, is embellishing. Okay, all that being said, now that I'm looking at this page, it needs something. It needs some kind of embellishment. I don't know what. It needs some journaling, but I got nothing to say. This is what we're doing. We're just hanging out. I guess I could journal about that we bought them the graduation ears, but you can tell we bought them the graduation ears. So I don't know. I love journaling, and I didn't do it, and I'm feeling guilty that I didn't do it. But we were just hanging out at Hollywood Studios. So this is the first, well, I guess I had used Botanical Burst for Disney Springs, but this is the first of the actual Disney parks layouts that I used the Botanical Burst for. And as I got this out and started playing with it, I just love the bright colors. I like the variety of patterns. This, I think this was called Frame It Up. This is one of the recipe templates, and you can see I did it here, this direction here, and then I turned it that way, and I filled in the pictures, and I used some with pictures and some with paper, and I just think it turned out great. Not a lot to journal about, just that it's one of our favorite shows, but I was able to put in a whole bunch of pictures, and I feel like it's very visually interesting, and I love the colors. So if you follow my Facebook page, you may have seen this layout before. This was from a Creative Memories virtual crop. Using the geometric frame punch, I felt like it made really cute little TIE fighters, and just worked very well with all these stormtroopers. And this, I think, is Homestead. The paper pack is Homestead on a charcoal background. So BB-8, this one probably needs like a BB-8 sticker or something like that, but I didn't have a BB-8 sticker. I think this is a Noreen Smith sketch. This is the yellow from Botanical Burst and the stripe. Yeah, here we are with BB-8, and he's cute. And I wrote about that he kind of beeps and moves his head around and stuff, and that was really cute. So our next Star Wars picture, I tried to, as you can see, kind of mimic what I had done with this previous layout. Even though they weren't kind of chronologically right by each other, I feel like this ties together those Star Wars things. I just wrote about how they're building the Star Wars land, and this was like a end wall, but it was fun. They had a photo pass photographer there. We got our picture taken, and you know, using the Force to, well, I don't know what we were doing. Hopefully not stopping construction. This was also a sketch from a worldwide virtual crop. This is using the natural, oh boy, I've lost the name of it. Whatever the Natural Elegance maybe is the current product collection. And all I did with this was I'm Groot, because, you know, that's all you say. I am Groot, to meet our little friend baby Groot at the studios. We just had these random photo pass pictures in front of the Pixar Place sign. And once again, I pulled out that Botanical Burst paper, and I just really love it. I love the punching around a circle technique. I felt like the circle on this page tied well with the circle on this page, but you can still tell that these are two separate layouts. They complement each other, but they obviously are two separate events. So the Toy Story Land was opening like a month after we were there. So we didn't get to experience Toy Story Land on this trip, and so instead I just took a picture of kind of the model of the Toy Story Land, just to peek into what was coming in our future. This layout, I was going to just punch out little squares to make a checkerboard to kind of go with the checkerboard under the mat, but what I ended up doing was actually weaving the paper together. If you went to, you know, elementary school, you probably learned how to weave paper, and I just cut the strips and weaved them, and then I admit it, I did trim off the ends to make it even, but I think it worked great to make those little checkerboards, and I think it was a lot less time consuming than punching a bunch of little squares would have been, and definitely the lines are straighter than I think I could have gotten if I had tried to put little squares on to make a black and white background. I think it works great with these little Cruz Ramirez pictures. He is from Cars 3, which apparently was my son's favorite of the Cars movies, but I have to admit, I don't think I watched it. So this layout is also Botanical Burst, and it's based on a layout idea that I got from Instagram. One of the Creative Memories Japan advisors had done this layout, and I love the way she kind of took the circle off the edge. I mean, we often do like a circle in the middle of the page, but I love the asymmetrical look of having the circle off the page. And I feel like Stitch goes along well with the little kind of leaf patterns. All right, Toy Story Mania. This is kind of a busy ride, and so I used a little bit busier paper. This is from either Rainbow Rush or Fast Fusion. Both of them are retired and I get them mixed up. But I love just the rainbow colors and just kind of wanted to mimic Andy's bedroom. You know, you kind of, when you're in the ride, it's kind of like you're shrunk down to the size of a toy. And so I kind of was trying to do that same kind of maybe wainscoting or wallpaper, and then the, you know, the contrasting at the top with a tiny little chair rail. Not really a chair rail, but you know, this is a hard ride because you're busy riding, and so you don't take a lot of pictures. I don't say it's a hard ride. It's a hard ride to scrapbook because you don't take pictures on it. But here's a little picture before we went, my son ready to go. So another Creative Memories advisor friend of mine works at Disney, and I was able to meet her. We'd met on the advisor group. So I just put a picture of her in here, and then we stopped at Starbucks where they had these cute little mini Starbucks mugs I was super excited about. And this again is Imagine That paper. This layout I'm really pleased with. It is so hard for me to do a layout with one photo, but I don't ride Rock and Roller Coaster, and my family doesn't always think to take pictures, and so what I get is the one ride photo. Sometimes I'll enlarge it. This time I didn't, but I took the roller coaster punch from last year and just punched 6 rows of it. And this paper actually is from Sparks of Magic. You can see that it's polka dots on the top and bottom and then stripes. And the sticker is also from Sparks of Magic. And interestingly, the Rock and Roller Coaster does have a loop. And I just think it's really cute. I don't really have anything to say about the photo, but I have lots to say about the layout. And I love how it turned out. So when we got to the Frozen layout, when I originally had looked at this paper pack, this Botanical Burst Blue, I loved this paper with kind of the little diamonds in it, and then this paper, and it really made me think winter and of course Frozen. I live in Alabama, so we don't get a lot of winter, but I go to Disney and, you know, we get Frozen there. So this one had so many pictures. The narrators of this show are just hysterical, and I just took a bunch of pictures of them, and you can't really convey it in a scrap page, but I had so many pictures. I decided to use a 6x12 peekaboo pocket. And you know, when you first look at this, I don't think you guys could tell that this was a peekaboo pocket on here, but it allows me basically to put a whole nother 12x12 worth of photos on my layout without adding a second double page spread. So at some point I am going to do a video about how to use the peekaboo pockets. What I like to do is I like to put them on either the inside or the outside edge, so that I can adhere them to the page and that I don't have to put them on the page protector. They work really well on the pocket pages, but I don't use the pocket pages. And I don't know how I feel about putting them on a page protector. I haven't done it. I've seen it done. I know that it works, but for me, it just seems to work better. And especially because I don't have my page protectors on. My last step in an album project is putting the page protectors on. So as I'm going, I needed this to stick down somewhere. So I stuck the adhesive strip to my page, and then I put my wallpapering over that, and with a little extra adhesive just to keep it secure. And I think it works fine. And as you see, I use this same paper here so that it looks very uniform on this page. And then here, I use this same paper. You know, I think it works really well with the peekaboo pocket. I think it blends in well together. And, you know, they do snow at the end of the show. And man, there was a ton of snow this time. We felt like we were in a little blizzard. Thanks, Elsa. So, okay. Fantasmic, the night show at Disney. I love to try and take pictures of this. It's hard to take pictures in the dark. I always end up taking like 100 pictures, and then I don't want to use all of them because a lot of them are very similar. But for this one, I don't know. I wanted to get on as many pictures as I could and still keep it on one single layout. So these are 2 3/4 inch squares, all of them, including the journal mats. These ones I trimmed a little bit because I didn't need the full 2 3/4. And that allows me to kind of have this nice grid shape and to still show a little bit of this paper, which I felt like the bubble paper from Botanical Burst Blue. worked really well with kind of the bubbles in Fantasmic. All right, the next day, we went to Epcot, again, Botanical Burst. It was during the Food and Wine Festival. So nope, sorry, Food and Wine is in the fall. That's the one I'm going to next week. Flower and Garden Festival. And so the flowers and stuff from Botanical Burst I thought worked really well. So here we go, Flower and Garden Festival. Again, just this, the Botanical Burst, and lots of colors, lots of patterns. I feel like it works really, really well together. So this layout I absolutely love. It's based on a layout from the Creative Memories blog that I think was designed by Karen McDermott-Rolfe. And I modified it quite a bit from hers because she had the scallop punch and some older retired punches I didn't have handy when I was working on this. But I've done this kind of a frame thing before, but I'd never done it just on part. I've always done it all the way around. And so I love how this turned out, just kind of around the top and then just the little coral and stuff at the bottom. Paper is Mermaid Cove, one of my most beloved paper pack / collections from Creative Memories ever. Sadly, it is retired, but if they ever bring it back, I'll be buying several packs to add to my personal stash. This Journey into Imagination is a layout that I absolutely love. I really wanted to do a rainbow. There's a rainbow kind of in the ending part of Journey into Imagination, and it's not your regular primary colors. It's kind of these purpley pinks, and these are the papers that came out in that cardstock buffet this summer. So I really wanted to kind of mimic that idea. So first I thought I could just use the jumbo circle and cut some circles and layer it, but the jumbo circle only fits on a 12 by 12 page. So if I'd only used a quarter of that, it would only have come to here, and I really wanted a big layout, a big rainbow to go across both sides of my layout. So people have laughed at me, but this is how you do it. If you want a giant circle, is you can use your elbow as a pivot point. So you put your pencil in your hand, hold your elbow still in one spot, and then just carefully take your hand and draw your line. So it's like those old compasses that we used to use in math. Just keep your elbow in one spot and your arm stays the same length, so you can do that. And then I did cut them out by hand. I know, you don't have to do this layout ever, I promise. Use the Cloud Border Maker cartridge just to put some little clouds at the bottom. Here's my stack of photos in the middle, which I love. And then a big title. And yes, this is supposed to be upside down. This paper is actually from the Orchid combo pack. I loved the Orchid cardstock, and the only way to get it was to buy the combo pack. So I actually bought 2 combo packs because that way I could have two of each paper. So the backgrounds for both of these 2 layouts are from the Orchid combo pack. And that way I got some of this pretty purple Orchid cardstock, which is the color that I needed. So then this is just like the little after ride play area. I love, love, love the Out of This World collection. Sorry, for a minute my mind went blank because all I could think of was Mission Space. Love Out of This World collection. I live in Huntsville, the Rocket City. I have requested this collection. I claim it. I'm sure I'm not the only one that claimed it, but I just love it. And it works great for Disney, for Buzz Lightyear, for Mission Space. And so that's what this is, Mission Space. I had a chance to use these cute little astronaut bears. It's kind of busy. I admit it's kind of busy, but it's Disney. We're allowed to be busy. I think that this also is one maybe that I got from one of the Japanese Instagram Creative Memories advisors, but I just think it turned out really cute. And around the edge of the circle, I used the dot tip pens just to give a little bit of an accent, and I think it really adds a nice touch. I just kind of alternated colors that I thought would go with the colors in the paper and in my pictures. I mean, this orange goes right along with kind of their color scheme. This layout is, this green paper is from the first mystery box of this year. Everyday Essentials, I think it was called. This little card paper is actually from a 6x6 pad that one of my customers at my crop had when I was like trying to figure out something I could do that had little cars on it, and she gave that to me. So I don't know the brand of it. Might be Echo Park actually, but it's from a 6x6 pad. And I just, I just needed one piece of the 6x6 and one piece of the Everyday Essentials. And this is the little piece that was on the top. When you trim it to get 6x6, there's the punched hole right here under this, and I still wanted to use it, so I just covered it up with my photo. All right, my daughter has had her face painted before at Disney, but your face paint washes off as soon as you wash your face at night. So this time we tried the henna tattoos, and the boho escape paper worked out great to use on this henna tattoos page. I think it just matches kind of the theme and the feeling of the henna tattoos in the Morocco pavilion there in World Showcase. All right, American Adventure. This is one of my favorite parts of all Disney World. This is actually the project recipe. Was it Festive 4th this year? Rats, I really need to keep track better of the names of the paper packs. Oh, United We Stand. It was United We Stand is the paper pack this year. I believe the paper is still available. It might be on last chance, but this was the project recipe with the banner flag, frame punch, and some circles cut out a little bit more, elaborate, but I thought it worked great for these layouts. And I actually used my old school Sizzix to cut this title because I wanted to share this layout on Facebook, and I always feel like it needs to have a title before it can be shared. So I just love the combination of the circles and the squares and the flags and the red, white, and blue. So after that very kind of busy page, we have a very, very simple page of the Beer Garden restaurant in Germany. This is a representation of the German flag, and just kind of kept going with those colors. Here's my stack of photos in the middle, and then my pictures coming out from it. Very simple. If I had some little German stickers or a little German flag sticker or something, I might put that on here, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay not to have to embellish a lot on your pages if you don't want to. The photos tell the story, and it's okay. It's a good story with just the photos and the journaling. Even if all I had to say was that we love German food and we always eat at the beer garden. All right, Anna and Elsa, we talked about how my husband and my daughter's friend went to go stake out a spot for the fireworks. My daughter and I have these matching shirts that have the little Snowgie guys. They're like the little baby snowmen. It's not Olaf, it's the little Snowgies. And so we purposefully wore them knowing we were going to see Anna and Elsa, and they did not disappoint us. Both of them commented on the Snowgie shirts, and that Michelle is wearing her little Queen Elsa hat. And so I put this little screenshot from Wikipedia about the names of all the little Snowgies because we think they're very fun. So almost to the end, this layout was absolutely from a virtual crop. Might have been a worldwide virtual crop. I don't remember which one. I had actually made this to use for a different set of photos. I had not intended to use it with these pictures, but the Botanical Burst was new. I was loving the Botanical Burst, the torch chain border maker cartridge. And when it was all done, I thought, you know what? That looks so much like Spaceship Earth. And then I pulled out these pictures, and the colors were so perfect to go with these. I just had to do it. So basically this is the jumbo circle, and then maybe the inside pieces of the circle. It might have been the new circle maker when the new circle maker came out. Anyway, love the circles and the banners and the chain and the bright colors. This is actually shimmer cardstock that I use for the torch chain border punch, and it just makes me so happy. All right, last page of this volume are the little pavement lights at Epcot. I think these are probably gone. The renovation at Epcot is done. I'm hoping to see it next week when I'm there. And I think they're gone. This is something we have loved, kind of a hidden gem. And as I was scrapbooking this, and I mentioned it to some of my crop friends who are big Disney fans, they didn't have any idea what I was talking about. So if you did not ever experience the pavement lights here by Innovations West in Epcot, I'm sorry. I will check to see if they're there. I hope they are, because they were one of my favorite things. So this is the end of volume 1 of our graduation Disney trip in 2018, and I will be back in a couple of days. I'll give you a chance to get caught up. I'll be back with volume 2. Thanks so much for watching. Happy scrapbooking.